Hey guys, today we're going to talk about how to stake your HEX. This is Crypto Coffee and I'm making a video all about what you need to know regarding HEX staking. Staking is essentially the main function in HEX that you can do, which is what makes it so attractive to hold. It's essentially time locking your HEX for a later date. Simply put, you set aside your HEX for a certain specified number of days and you can unlock it at a later time. Now, I'm making this video under the assumption that you already own some HEX and you're not really sure where to go from here. So you're kind of a beginner and you want to know what this whole staking thing is about. And you also might have heard another few terms called emergency end staking and also the big payday. Now, those are all kind of related in a way, and I want to show you what that looks like and what that means for you and your money as it pertains to those three topics. So stick around till the end of the video if you want to find out, number one, what is staking? Number two, what is emergency end staking? Number three, how can I maximize my profits using the big payday while staking? So, you might already know about this website. If you don't, you should. It's called go.hex.com, and if you own HEX in your MetaMask wallet, you're going to want to go here and add it to your MetaMask. So we just click the Add to MetaMask button in the top right corner, and we add the HEX token to this. Now you might have to refresh the page in order for it to take effect, but essentially you're only giving your wallet read-only access and allowing your wallet to interact with the smart contract through this website. We don't need to go through all the complicated details. Today we're only talking about staking, right? So it's really simple, guys. You're going to go to go.hex.com. You're going to click on the Stake tab over here and just wait for it to load. It might take 10 to 30 seconds in order to load all that data from the blockchain in your MetaMask wallet. But you're on the Stake tab, and this is essentially the page where everything important is going to be done. This is the page where you are going to stake your assets and where all your money is going to be made. So what is staking, right? Staking is very simple. You put the amount of HEX you want to stake in the first field, right? Then you choose the number of days you'd like to stake your HEX. Very, very straightforward. You probably figured this out already. Let's say I want to stake for 10 days. So we've got bonuses, which are previewed right over here. These are your stake bonuses. If you stake more days, you get the longer pays better bonus. If you stake a bigger quantity of HEX, you get bigger pays better bonus. So if you put a higher number in here, bigger pays better goes up. If you put a higher number in the days column, longer pays better goes up. And you can see, because I'm only staking for 10 days, my effective HEX afterwards would be 1,004. So I will have made 4.9 HEX, almost 5. Right? Now we're not worried about the share price. I made another video on share price, so if you want to learn about that, check it out. It's a little advanced. This is a very basic video for the new staker, right? So keep watching if you want to learn about essentially just the basics of staking. And you can see here, if I press the stake button, and I approve it on my MetaMask wallet. So I press the stake button and this screen will pop up off my MetaMask wallet. You can see the gas fees are a little high right now and I don't want to actually stake this. So I'm not going to click confirm, I'm going to click reject, but that's essentially how you would make a stake. Now you might already have stakes, but you might not really know the proper strategy or what all these buttons do. So you can see on day 207, I made a stake that expired on day 407. And if I wanted to end that stake now, I could end my stake just by clicking this red button. But I don't want to do that because the button is red for a reason. The button is red because I haven't served my entire stake term yet. Now in HEX, if you say you're going to stake for a set number of days, in this case 200 days, you have to do it, otherwise you will incur a penalty, just like CDs in the real world, or 401ks, or any kind of time-locked fund, right? If you want to take it out early, you have to pay a penalty. Now the estimations are after you serve about 50% or half of your stake term, you'll actually get your principal back, meaning you'll get your initial investments back, but you won't make any interest. And keep that in mind before making any decision like emergency end staking. I've seen people end their stakes, emergency end their stakes right away by clicking this big red button and not knowing that they'd be penalized. And it really sucks to see that. They should have done more research and they should have watched this video. Now, if you click on end stake, you're even going to get another end stake modal, and it's really hard to emergency end stake accidentally, right guys? So just make sure you know you're doing this. If you want to end your stake early and take a big hit on your principal hex value, you can click end stake a second time, and then as a third precaution, a final layer of safety, you actually have to approve that on your MetaMask as well. So, you know, I don't think it's a big risk that people will be accidentally emergency end staking, but it's more so that people don't understand the concept behind it. Now, obviously, I'm going to reject this transaction. I don't want to end my stake early and take a hit. Plus, all the gas fees are crazy high right now. But anyway, guys, if you want to emergency on your stake, just know that that button is red, indicating that your stake term hasn't been served yet, and you will incur some kind of penalty. Again, if you've served less than 50% of your stake length, you will be penalized in your principal. If you've served more than 50% of your stake length, you'll only be penalized on the interest that you've started accruing. So you could see here, I set a stake as well that was only going for 10 days, right? Now, those 10 days ended a long time ago. So this stake has been sitting here expired for probably about 90 days now. And you don't want that to happen either. So you want to make sure that you get notified, or that you remember, mark it in your Google Calendar or whatever you got to do when your stake expires. And make sure that you end your stake manually, because it's your job in HEX to end your stake manually when it expires. So this one expired, 90 days ago. It was only a 10-day long stake. And you can see here the button turns from red to black. Okay? The button turns from red to black, indicating that you can safely end your stake, and you should, and you won't be penalized at all. So if I end my stake, notice this box over here, guys. I don't have to end my stake right away. There's two options here. I could also run good accounting, and good accounting will allow me to just stay there, and it'll allow my stake to sit here without incurring a penalty. Because that's another aspect of penalties, guys. If you don't end your stake when the stake expires, there's a 2-week grace period, very similar to how CDs work in the real world. A 2-week grace period, and then after that, every week you'll start bleeding out 1% of your stack. So as time goes on, you'll very, very slowly start bleeding it out. And this mechanism is just to make sure that people remember to end their stakes. If somebody doesn't care about their stake anymore and they leave it there for a full year, then eventually the whole stake will bleed out. So I think I said 1%. It's actually 2% per week that it will start bleeding out. So 2% per week. So just keep that in mind, guys. If you do have a stake that's ended, and if you don't run the good accounting function or the end stake function on it, you will start bleeding out. Now good accounting is a function that, again, just makes it so that you don't incur any penalties and the stake can sit here as long as you want. Ending your stake, on the other hand, will make it so that the coins go back into your wallet, which is probably what you're going to want to do. Now, the reason good accounting is in there is because anybody can run good accounting for anybody else. So if you want to save your friend, or if you've got somebody that's passed away that has a stake that is still going and expires, let's say, a year after they pass away, well, you might want to run the good accounting function on that person so that their shares don't bleed out over time. And in the meantime, you can figure out what you want to do with those funds. So the good accounting mechanism is really in there to future-proof it. If somebody's not able to get to their stake, maybe they are unfortunately dead, or they are somewhere on a remote island and they can't get to it, somebody else might be able to run good accounting on them. But only you can run the end stake function on yourself. So anybody can run good accounting, but only you can end your own stake. And this, again, is what makes the HEX go back into your wallet, right? So my stake has been sitting here, and because I didn't run either of these two functions, you could see I've been bleeding out for the past 90 days. Look at my current value. The current value of my 1,000 HEX stake principal is now only worth 911 hex. So I've lost almost 10% so far, guys, almost 10%. So remember, that was after the 2-week grace period. I've probably waited another 5 weeks or so, and I've lost almost 10%. So it's not great, but luckily it's such a small amount of hex that I don't really care. I just wanted to show you this for the sake of the demo. Now finally, guys, why do I have 2 stakes right here? One ends on day 307, one ends on day 407. The reason I did this is to portray the idea of the big payday bonus. So if you're staked on day 350, and if you have any open stakes that day, you're going to be accredited a large number of shares to your stakes, which will massively increase the interest that you end up getting. Now, you could see with this stake in the middle, I've only staked until day 307, right? The big payday happens on day 351. So I should correct myself. In order to get the big payday bonus, you actually have to end your stake on day 351 or greater, because you have to have it when the day crosses over, right, from day 350 to 351. So if your end day is lower than 351, you're not going to get the bonus. You could see here in the big payday column, I've got no hex bonus coming in on that stake. However, for the stake ending on day 407, well, 407 is well beyond 351, right? And because of that, my estimated big payday bonus is 1,960 hex today. That's almost 3 times my initial principal, right? My initial principal was 1,000, and I'm getting another 2,000 on top of that. So when I unstake, if I make 2,963 hex, I almost 3x my money there. And this is the importance of big payday, right? You want to be staked on that day and hopefully long past that day, because shares are going to become exponentially more expensive to buy, and essentially your money is not going to gain as much interest if you wait until after the big payday. And that's why it's so exciting to get in this launch phase on the ground floor, because you're getting shares at such a cheap rate that, long story short, you're getting an order of magnitude better interest rate if you stake now and you stake long, rather than if your stakes end before big payday, or if you start your stake after the big payday. So you want to make sure you're in early and you're ending after that day. All right, guys, I hope you stuck with me till the end there. And again, if you're a beginner staking hex, you need to know all this stuff. So this might be the most important slide, and it's just a recap of everything I talked about. So what is staking? Well, you need to go to go.hex.com and click on the stake tab. Remember, longer pays better and bigger pays better. What is emergency end staking? Well, if you go to go.hex.com, it's that big red button, and that red button is bad. Again, if you've served less than half your stake, you're going to be penalized out of your principal. If you've served more than half your stake, you'll only be penalized out of your interest, but still not ideal. Now, what is the big payday, or BPD? Again, you have to be staked on day 351 or longer in order to earn lots more shares and thus earn more hex when your stake expires. Now, if your stake ends on day 350 or earlier, you won't get any of those extra bonus shares and that extra bonus hex. You're going to want that, right? Also, if you wait until after the big payday to make your stakes, you're still going to have a pretty good interest rate, but it's not going to be nearly as good as the interest rate of the people that started their stakes before the big payday. So keep all that in mind, guys. You might want to take a screenshot of this slide, send it to your friends, and send it to whoever you need to teach about the essentials of what staking is. I hope you guys learned something today. As always, it's Crypto Coffee. Keep calm and have a good rest of your day.